This isn't just a podcast, it's a movement. The Middle Ground Mike is fighting for truth and unity. Subscribe now or support us today. Links are in the notes. Stand with us.
But I think to your point, like, look, I think there's a lesson in all of that, and you hit on it, which is you can't resort to name calling. You can't resort to insults. You're never, I mean, you're never going to convince somebody that you're right or they're wrong by name calling, by insulting, by saying you're right, I'm right, you're wrong, right? The conversation that you're having is certainly part of the process. And I think it gets to a big chunk of the divides we need to bridge, which is we have to be talking to each other. I mean, we talked earlier, like if all of what you just described was going on anonymously in social media, it is, there's no resolution. And that is a big chunk of what is divisive in this country today, right? I just as I drove around 2.5 months talking to thousands of people, and every single one of them really said, we need more time interacting and away from our screens, and that media, and in particular social media, is the biggest culprit in what appears to be our division, because people are able to say and do whatever they want in an anonymous place. And they're in a culture where yelling is okay. And most Americans know that, right? That I like to say there's probably 15%, and there's plenty of data and surveys to support this, on each side of the sort of political and issues divide, that are invested in division. They want it, right? Their identity's caught in it, their ego's caught in it. Maybe they have financial or economic or power incentives, whatever it may be. You're not changing that easily. But 70% of Americans, it's your middle ground commentary, don't think we're that divided, don't want to be that divided, realize that we're being presented more extreme views and division by both political and leaders in the media. They get the joke, for lack of a better word. And it's not a joke, but they get the scenario. And I think what I've seen in the danger from all of that is people disengage.
Yes.
And that middle disengages. So most people that we all can think of and know, and many people's behavior that are listening to this, is I'm going to show up and I'm going to vote every 2 years or 4 years because I know that's important. When I do, I look around and I then bombarded by the debate and the ads and the noise, and I'm disgusted and more angered by that. I hold my nose, I vote, and I say, you know what? I'm going back to work. I'm going back to school. I'm going back to my kids. I'm going back to TikTok. I'm going back to whatever. I'm going to ignore all of this noise out here. I'm not watching CNN. I'm not watching Fox. I'm not reading that. But the problem with that is it becomes this self-fulfilling downward spiral, that the only voices then are heard, and heard more loudly, are those invested in division. Then you show up again, you're like, it's worse than the last time I was here. I'm out of here. And it gets
Yeah.
worse and worse and worse, right? Part of my message and part of what we're trying to do is say you can't do that. I am not saying to America, go watch CNN, go watch Fox, go be all that. What I'm saying, though, is if we want to fix the division, every single one of us has to contribute.